I can see that you're still watching the intro there. I could hear the... Now I can hear myself. That's very weird. It's not loud, but there we go. That's better. Hi, John.
Hi, Ben.
How are you, John?
I don't understand how you could hear yourself.
Well, there's a lot we don't understand in this world, John.
What's happen? I mean, you never can hear. Oh my God, I just don't understand.
Yeah, maybe we're not meant to understand, John. Maybe we're not meant to understand.
Technology. It's screwed up.
Jesse says in the chat, so glad to see you both smiling. Well, we've no reason to really not be smiling, right?
You know what? I've got much more done today.
Me too. Me too. Guess what I managed to get done thanks to John giving me some admin privileges. You know what I've managed to get done there, don't you, John?
Yeah.
Where else are we live now, John?
Facebag.
We're live on Facebook right now as well. So we're not live on brand YouTube at the moment because the site was playing up, but we're live on Facebook now as well. So
that'll be a shock for all the old grannies at the car boot sales.
They're taking a look at us right now, going, who is
these handsome beasts?
Who is that hillbilly sitting there with George Clooney?
Who are these handsome beasts?
Well, if anybody is actually bothering to watch on Facebook, hi there.
Yeah,
how you doing?
How you doing? How
you doing, Facebook? Are you good? John.
Ben.
What's happened to us in the past day?
Oh, well, I got banned again on Twitter for ban evasion, even though it's not me, it's a business account. So I'm not quite sure how that works. But, you know, Twitter's just shot themselves in the foot because I'm not interested in them anymore.
Well, this is it. And do you know what? Ever since I returned with the disabled_journo account after my ban for absolutely no reason, and that is on record a fact, by the way, absolutely no reason. So once I returned from whence I came, returned from the depths, shall they say, with my new account, I knew the writing was on the wall. And not only that, my audience had been cut by, 15-20 times, and the content, the video content, whilst it goes out through Adam's press account over on Twitter there, Twitter's not where we really get our audience from anymore.
No, it isn't. It doesn't really give us anything.
No, and so we have now become active on Gettr as of today. But then again, so has virtually everybody else.
You say active. I've logged in.
You sent me some direct messages as well.
Yeah, which were of no consequence because apparently you can't send clickable links in Gettr.
Yeah, that's very
really
weird.
Fucking useful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very, very weird. But yeah,
I spent the afternoon creating my own chat.
So my wife's on Twitter. Adam's on Twitter running the press account. So, we still have a presence there until they remove that, and they probably will, right? They'll go after my wife simply for being my wife. They'll go after Adam because he's our tech/press guy. And still, we never did anything to warrant a banning. We never broke their terms of service. In the first place.
If a human being had actually looked at what we'd done, they would have went, yeah, okay, that's not a breach of the terms of service.
Well, if a human being had actually looked at my main account before it was banned, with well north of 10,000 followers, they'd have gone, yeah, okay, we're not actually banning him for anything.
Is that not what I just said?
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But our original account shouldn't be on ban. They shouldn't. But the thing is, whilst we were both mysteriously taken down at exactly the same time, John.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem
convenient.
Convenient, very, very convenient. Doesn't seem coordinated that at all. In fact, I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to tell you that I have already been being told for the last 2 straight days before this happened that the same group of trolls that were targeting me and that were targeting my wife have been in overdrive targeting everybody. I've got messages saying they were doing it, they were doing this, that and the other, they were going for people, they were gunning for people. So whilst,
you know what, it doesn't really matter, because ultimately they're going to be left in an echo chamber.
Yes.
A left-wing echo chamber.
A far left echo chamber.
Yeah, which is so far left it's fucking right. that they're really, what they're going to do, pick on each other? Probably. It's probably going to be turned into like some kind of feeding frenzy.
Well, there's one thing we know about the far left is that ultimately they do always eat their own, right?
Yeah, You self-destructive.
You cannot placate these people, no matter how much you try. If you do one little tiny thing that they deem to be wrongthink, you are persona non grata. And speaking of you in a positive light, Will Beaverboten, how many times do people have to go through this to learn it? Do you know what I mean?
Ad infinitum. People don't learn.
Well, yeah, the last 2.5 years have taught us anything. People just don't learn.
Well, it's not even the last 3.5 years. It's like, look at the last 3,000 years. People do not learn from history. We repeat exactly the same mistakes time and time again.
Yeah.
Time after time after time. Nobody learns.
Yeah, it's true.
So you know, all we can do is point it out and laugh.
What else
because
can we do?
There's no point in doing anything else. Because they're just going to fuck things up again. What else can you do? I mean, it's like, did you see that debate last night?
I mean, we streamed it, John.
Yeah, I know. So I'm saying, did you see it? Did you listen to anything they said?
What they said was word salad that was completely fucking meaningless, John.
Yeah, well, some of it was and some of it wasn't. And some of it was they kept reiterating net zero. And fucking hell, you can't do net zero. Here's a lump of coal. You know what that is? You know what that lump of coal is?
Fuel.
Fucking electric car fuel. That's what it is.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. But the one thing I will say is this. It got so ridiculous last night that Tom Tuggenhat, who, by the way, the chat were pretty much loving for the most part, right?
Well, I was on board until he made possibly the most fucking naive statement that a politician's ever made.
And which is?
Which was all about net zero and expecting other countries to follow our example. Fucking wake up, Tom. Nobody gives a fuck what happens in the UK, and China, India, Brazil, whatever, aren't going to bother their arse about trying to tone down their emissions just because the UK thinks we should. So wake up and smell the coffee.
Yeah, but I think that a lot of people jumped off board with Tom Tugendhat when
on board or off board. Right.
When it was quoted that he had used a quote from Professor Dumbledore from the Harry Potter books.
Why not? Why not? Well, what's his name? He nearly said order out of chaos at one point as well, which is pure WEF.
Yeah, but isn't Tugendhat also WEF?
No, is there anyone that isn't?
Kemi Badenoch isn't, I believe, but
really?
I think the rest of them are.
Maybe that explains why she's so fucking stupid.
Oh dear.
Because all she could come up with was, we don't know the answer, and anything we do will have consequences. She said that exact same answer to every question she was given.
You know that she's now the front runner.
Gettr.
Yeah.
You're kidding me on.
No, she's jumped to 32% with Tory voters. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck off. No, she's a front runner among the public.
Yeah, but
Not amongst the party.
Yeah, but like you said, last night was just simply a barometer to see how the public were feeling.
Oh yeah, and what does it say? It says the public wants stupid people leading them. That's what it says.
Well, they've had they voted Alexander Boris de Pfeffel Johnson to lead them, John.
Yeah, I think it's pretty straightforward. The great British public like nothing better than to be led by stupid people.
Let's actually for a minute, let's take a look at that, right? Let's take a look. So we've got Alexander Boris de Pfeffel Johnson, currently the English/British Prime Minister, right? And what John here says has weight, because then we look to Scotland, where John is, and your First Minister, Jimmy Cranky, Nicola Sturgeon.
His sole purpose in life seems to be to read and recommend paperback books.
And then we look to Wales. They elected Harold Bishop from Neighbours, also known as Mark Drakeford. They elected the man, and yes, because of the now multiple platforms we're on, I have to be careful with my words here, but they elected the man that for seemingly no reason told you couldn't buy kids' toys or blankets at Christmas and closed off the aisles.
And clothing.
And clothing.
Buy clothing. Clothing was a non-essential item.
In the dead of winter, by the way. In the dead of winter.
So Wales is fast becoming one massive nudist colony.
I mean, would that be so bad?
Yes. yes, it would.
Well, I also think, right? I also think, let's go back to what this show's about for a minute. Let's go back to the Twitter.
What is this show about?
It's about the Twitter purge, John.
The Twitter purge.
Twitter purge, right?
Well, it's like, what are they trying to do? Are they
we've actually
tidy up. Are they trying to sweep stuff under the carpet?
Right. So me and you were actually on the tail end of this purge, right? Yeah. So we survived through most of the purge, and then they got us on the way out, shall we say? Yeah. But the amount of accounts that were going down in the days preceding, and not just here in the UK, but all over the world. I mean, Twitter purge itself was trending. Right. Yeah. Adam, our tech guy, lost a whole bunch of followers overnight, right? Mm-hmm. It's not like, whilst I do feel we were probably targeted purely because of the coordination of our takeouts, what I think is this, right? Here's what I think. I think that since Elon Musk walked away from the deal, pretty much, he's not all the way gone, but pretty much, they now feel emboldened and empowered to go all in.
Yeah, they do.
And they have gone all in.
Yeah.
And it can only be a bad thing. And we saw that Project Veritas video where they said, oh yeah, we're all communists, right? We don't do things for profit, we do things for ideology.
Yeah.
Now, I remember...
How's that working out for you?
Well, I can guarantee you that the share price is crashing again.
Yeah, what's the Twitter share price now?
I have no idea.
Much is the dollar worth against the euro?
Oh, parity, isn't it?
Parity.
Yeah.
Parity.
Yep.
Now rich Americans coming over to Europe and swanning it over the French now.
Nope.
Parity. Parity.
Parity.
Bloody hell.
But they are trying to create their far left communist echo chamber. Now, Twitter used to have a slogan, didn't it? What was
Yeah,
its
the
slogan?
home of free speech.
The home of free speech, Twitter used to call itself. Hello? Hello? And then people go, oh, well, misinformation isn't free speech. Hate speech isn't free speech.
No, hold
yes,
on,
A, yes, they are, and B, what are they?
Yeah, well, that's exactly what I was going to say. Misinformation, first of all, define it, and secondly, yes, it is free speech. I'm entitled to say anything I bloody like.
Yeah.
Unless it's against the actual law.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm entitled to say anything I like.
Yeah.
I could say the moon is made of green cheese.
They're just staring at you now, John.
Yeah, but I could say that. I can say it if I want. Can't I? Am I not allowed to?
I don't think you are allowed to
Is that
anymore, John.
misinformation?
I think so.
Well, can you prove it's not? Well, okay, here's a better one. The moon is made from petrified wood. Because I can prove it is.
There we go.
And you can't prove it isn't.
Oh no, Soldier, you get 12-hour bans all the time, do you? We were permanently deleted.
Oh no.
Taken it, gone.
12-hour bans.
Gone.
Mere bagatelle.
Yeah, gone. No reason.
Yes. So there you go. So the moon is made of petrified wood. And the whole of the Netherlands will testify to that. Because Neil Armstrong gave them, it was Buzz Aldrin, gave them a piece of moon rock. And it was petrified wood.
Now,
so the moon is made of petrified wood.
Speaking of the Netherlands and petrified wood, I wonder if much of the Netherlands will be made of petrified wood at this point by the time of this is finished.
We spoke about it on Sonia's show because the Netherlands is only a year behind Sri Lanka.
I think maybe less than a year, to be honest.
Well, at the speed things are going, probably, yeah. But in general terms, Sri Lanka did everything last March. The Netherlands did it this March, so...
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
When I say last March, I mean March 2021.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So, anyway, John, we're attempting to do one of a few things, aren't we, in order to try and combat... just on our own little personal level, combat the loss of free speech.
Yes.
We've got some options. Yes. We're attempting some options. Shall we run through some of those options with the people here and see what they think?
Well, we have attempted to put up a Mastodon server, which did work, but we didn't quite get the admin credentials right, but I'm going to give it another shot because it looks quite good. It looks very like Twitter, dare I say it.
So what? Yeah,
well, if we get that up and running, that would be quite good. I want people to be able to log into it from the app as opposed to have to go and register on some other platform to then join Mastodon. You know. So
what Mastodon is, when you get a Mastodon server, is you essentially own your own private little Twitter, right? That's the long and short of it. So you own your own private little Twitter and you can have people sign up and they can do the tweets and they can do the messages and it looks pretty much like Twitter, except for we own it, right?
And you can also have people from other Mastodon servers talk to you. So you can either be insular or you can be social. Yes.
You can indeed. And then the other thing that we are thinking about doing, if that all goes tits up, is we do own a little website called chasingdescent.com, don't we, John?
Yes, we do.
And the other thing we're thinking about doing, potentially, is adding a forum. So I hope you all know what a forum is. A forum is somewhere where you can go and have an account at our website at chasingdescent.com and you can have your own conversations. You can start your own topics. And believe me when I say, we will let you say whatever the fuck you like within the law. Won't we, John?
Yeah.
We're just trying to do something to combat this censorship. And if we can run a little Mastodon server and we can invite dozens, if not hundreds of people, if not thousands of people to come and join us and communicate all in our little version of Twitter, then we would absolutely welcome that. Or the forum, or we could do both, right? We'll just see what sort of time we've got on our hands, and obviously we're going to need a bit of help, but we will get there, and we're going to be able to, at some point in the next, hopefully, few days, offer you something, a place where you can go, you can create an account, you can have your conversations, and you can know that we are the guys at the top, and we don't fuck about when it comes to free speech.
Yep, and if you get banned, you know you've been banned for a fucking good reason.
Yeah. Basically, if you've done something actually illegal, like calls for violence or things like that, then we might have to step in. However, if you just want to have your conversations and you want to say what you want about the treats, you want to say what you want about net zero or the agenda or the World Economic Forum, then our forum or our Mastodon or both will be the place for you.
If you want to discuss bonfires on the 5th of November, then feel free.
Yeah, as long as you word it correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as we have plausible deniability, quite frankly. That's what
yes, of course you can swear. Well, see, technically I don't know if you're allowed to swear online. Are you? And I know we do it all the time, but per the Post Office Telecommunications Act 1953, if online communication falls into that, i.e. is a phone call, then technically you're breaking the law every time you swear.
Oh, fuck.
Do you give?
No, to be honest. But yeah, that's the idea. It's just something we're floating about, like I say, because we're sick of it, and we're sick of being beholden to other people, and we're sick of watching you guys tiptoe around these platforms. And yeah, there are places like Gettr and Gab and places like that, and we are there too, by the way. You can come and find us on Gettr, you can come and find Chasing Dissent on Gab, you can find us on Instagram, you can find us on TikTok, you can find us on Facebook. Some of you might even be watching us on Facebook right now. Hello. But the point is, if we do it, I hope enough of you know us well enough to know that we will stick to our word when we say you will be allowed free speech on our server or our platform or whatever. So,
the true home of free speech.
The true home of free speech. And, you know, who knows? Maybe we could actually build something over time, John. Maybe we could actually offer something that is greatly missing. It is greatly missing because, I mean, even these so-called free speech platforms now, they have limitations, right? That are not just the law. I mean, there are limitations on Gettr when it comes to porn, I think. And whilst it's not something I would want to see, stick it behind a not safe for work and fill your boots as long as it's legal. As long as it's legal, right? Fill your boots. Don't care. Stick it behind a not safe for work tab. Go over there if you want. Gab is an anomaly. It does seem to be as free speech as it gets, but it's beholden to its fundraisers, I guess. But we're here in the United Kingdom, and we're going to try and offer you a little something, a little slice of free speech. John.
Ben.
Is there anything else you want to talk about, or shall we start to wind down this little pop-up?
I think. What, am I getting flashes across the screen or something?
Yeah, it's happening. It's happening on Ring Central, I think.
That's strange.
It might just be the heat.
What heat? It's not that hot. Let's talk about the heat wave, right? The coming heat wave, the amber alerts for extreme temperatures.
Red alerts, John. Red alerts.
Oh, red alerts. So what's happening now? What are we on?
We are having some some temperatures that are not as high as I've been on holiday, and we
yeah.
should be afraid, John.
So what are we doing? Are we flying all these people back from places like Spain and Cyprus and that, where the temperatures are in the 40s? Are we flying them back as a matter of urgency?
No.
Because they might die. Surely they might die.
Remember, these people pay money to go to those temperatures.
Yeah, but they might die. Bring them back. It's way too hot. Have you ever heard anything so stupid in your life?
I mean,
an amber alert for like 30 degrees.
Red
28
alert.
Degrees. Amber alert, 28 degrees.
Boo.
28 degrees was a good summer growing up.
Oben1 says, if it's 104 degrees on Monday, I'll show my arse on the steps of Woolworths. Fair enough.
Thanks for that.
RCW says, bought a paddling pool for Monday.
Hold on, where the fuck's Woolworths? There's no Woolworths anymore, surely. Has he got a time machine?
Maybe.
If you've got a time machine, get in touch.
We could have some fun with a time machine, couldn't we?
We could go back to a better life, that's for sure.
We could go back and we could sit down old Jack Dorsey and say, stop. No, Jack.
No, we go back further than that. Back to the 80s. We could rebuild the whole thing from the ground up. We could be Bill Gates.
I mean, basically what you're saying is the plot of Hot Tub Time Machine, right?
Yes. Oh, I love that movie. That was a scream.
He just goes back in time and the loo, and he turns Google into Loogle.
Yeah. No, it was an absolute scream. Absolute scream. The second one was dire, but the first one was a scream.
Yeah, that's true. The second one, the sequels usually are absolutely awful, though, John. That's how sequels tend to be.
So hold on, who's saying? Right. So Oben1 says if it's 104 degrees on Monday, he'll show his arse on the steps of Woolworths. And Dark Spy saying there's a Woolworths still in Australia. Is he flying to fucking Australia to show his arse in Woolworths if it's 104 degrees here? My God, people, get a grip.
It'd be hotter in Australia, isn't it?
I know. Well, actually, it's winter in Australia, isn't it?
Yeah, but do they really do winter?
Not that I noticed.
No. No, they don't.
Not that I noticed, really. I mean, bloody hell, I remember being in, where was it, Cairns?
Right.
And it was like 36, 37 degrees. And I thought, I'm going to go for a swim in the water to cool down. Yeah. And, of course, on the way to the water, the lifeguard goes, remember to stay inside those markers, because the sharks don't get you. Although he said it in an Australian accent, not a Yorkshire one. And then I jumped in the water and it's like having a fucking hot bath. I thought it's warmer in the water than it is outside.
RCW says he bought a paddling pool for Monday. That's the way, isn't it? I mean, essentially, even old Sadiq Khan, the mayor of London, did you see? Well, no, you didn't because you're not on Twitter, but he put out today, the wife showed me, put out today a notice, yeah, telling people how to basically how to act in heat. So it was stay indoors if you can.
As in, like when a dog goes into heat, or
it's like wear sun cream, drink water, God. And I'm thinking, thanks, Dad. I mean,
it's truly nanny state, isn't it? I mean, it's like, I mean, I've been out in shops and things, and you see signs that say, "Remember and stay hydrated all day." Well, holy fuck! I would never have drank if I'd felt thirsty, would I? Oh my God! Jesus Christ! It's nanny state gone mad. Remember and stay hydrated all day. Oh no, I'm thirsty. What can I do to alleviate this? How can I help myself? Oh, I'll have a drink. Bloody hell! People are so fucking stupid these days. They really are.
I just spilled my Coke. You're making me laugh so much, you bastard.
So, you bastard. How dare you make me laugh?
How dare you make me spill my liquid sugar?
I'm obviously in a better mood than I was this morning.
Sean Fennessy says life-changing info. Well, it's like, look at the weather maps, right? Look at the weather map. The comparison pictures. You see the British Isles on the weather today, and it's all deep red all over them, right?
Oh, it's gonna burn. You're gonna burn like you're in the pits of hell.
And you see your weather maps from 15 years ago with higher temperatures on them and just a little picture of a sun.
Hot, shiny, happy people. Joke. It's just pure propaganda.
Oh,
Absolutely crazy.
do you know what? There are actually people, and I've got to be careful with my words because of platforms, right? But there are people that I know that were all in on the narratives of the last 24 to 36 months, yeah?
Yeah.
That are going, why are they trying to scare us with this weather when we've had hotter weather before? Are you only just realising?
You've just seen what they're doing.
Are you only just realising? And I was looking.
What I couldn't get over was the Ukraine thing. I couldn't get over people that didn't believe the government 2 years ago, but then or the government and the MSN, but then suddenly jumped all in on the Ukraine thing.
I guess people will still acquiesce to their biases, John.
Yeah, well, Russian man bad.
Oh, we are Russian. We do not like you.
This bear will bite you.
Yes.
Bite you hard.
We have President Vladimir Putin. He does not like you, John.
Yeah, I think he'd have a good laugh with us. Vlad, how's it going, mate? Maybe you gotta put a stop to all this pish. Just fucking kick them into Kingdom Come.
John.
Sort it out.
John, I do not like the way you are talking. Though I think you're a funny man. You must you must go to Gulag.
Yay! Fish head stew! I'll get thin one way or the other. And if it takes a gulag to do it, it worked for David Harbour, so why wouldn't it work for me?
We're technically in the old digital gulag now, aren't we, John?
Yeah.
But the thing is, we're in so many places. We're in so many places now. You can find Chasing Descent at John's YouTube channel. You can find us on TikTok. You can find us on Rumble. You can find us on brand YouTube. You can sometimes find us on Odyssey. Right, but we do have a channel there. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Gettr. You can find us on Gab. There's probably more.
Yeah, there probably is. And we've actually still got a presence on Twitter.
We've got a Telegram channel.
Oh, Telegram. I forgot about that.
t.me/Chasing Descent. That's t.me/ And also, we have a Patreon where you can give us money from as little as £1 a month at patreon.com/Chasing Descent. There's also a subscribe.
Yes, if you're Russian, there is Subscribe Star.
Yes, you can
Chasing Descent.
You can use Subscribe Star, comrade. You can give us. Yes, we are not on BNT this evening, Orbit One. We could not get on website.
BNT no work.
We tried. DW says, and like me, Ben's probably forgotten most of passwords. That's kind of true.
Yeah, but BNT no worky.
We definitely tried to put on BNT. We got to the screen where you click go live and then clash. It clash. Yes, but we like being on YouTube, all in one. We can make money on YouTube. We cannot make money on BNT.
Yes, that's the problem.
And Twitch!
Oh, I forgot about Twitch, yeah.
We're on it right now! Most of them are talking to us on it.
No, we're reading the chat on Twitch and we're going, oh, I forgot about Twitch.
Forgot about Twitch.
And we make money on Twitch.
I mean, do we? Do we?
Okay. Well, it's only, how long's it taken us? How long's it taken us to reach the payout? Well, we haven't reached the payout threshold. But how long has it taken us? Nearly a year?
8 months.
8 months.
8 months since the last one, yeah. So, no, money isn't everything, but it does keep the lights on. You know?
Yeah. You say it's not everything, but you know, when you want to actually
when we actually want to make this our full-time job and support our families from doing not just this, but we've got documentaries in the pipeline.
Yeah, you need a certain degree. You know?
Luke Martin says, how about making a TikTok and going live on that? Well, you can find us on TikTok. We've got over 5,000 followers and we're
He was live this afternoon.
I was. We have TikTok. You can find us over on that communist.
Go and have a look. Go and have a look. The CCP will not take all your data, and they will not find out all about you, and they will not put you first against the wall when the great day comes.
John. Oh no, I went live on Instagram too, Luke.
You did.
I did both.
He did both.
He's
been like prolific
in expansion. Yes.
Prolific and productive.
Very productive.
I think that's probably us now.
Do you think that's probably us?
Yeah.
What about you in the chat? Do you think that's probably us until episode 104 tomorrow night?
104?
104 will be our first full Chasing Descent live on Facebook.
Who would have thunk it?
Who would have thunk it?
104.
104.
Stares longingly into space.
Me too.
Right. Run the outro while I say
hold on, I've got to turn studio mode on.
Thank you one and all for attending this impromptu pop-up on the Twitter Purge, the ludicrousness of the nanny state and just general chat from your hosts Ben and John. With that, it's good night from me.
Just before I say goodnight, remember one more time, patreon.com/Chasing Descent or subscribestar.com/Chasing Descent to help us keep the lights on from as little as £1 a month. I basically, it's going to cost me 1,500 quid to keep this show running, and I've raised about 100 of it. So any help is greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. See you all tomorrow. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's all we've got time for this evening, so it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, Mama. Good night, Daddy.
Stop playing with my bust!
Good night, everybody.
Good night, children. Good night, Daddy.
You're a what?
A pianist!
Mwah! Good night, everybody.
You have been a delightful audience. Still. Good night. Thank you.
Oh, my bottom hurts. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Elizabeth.
Good night, John Boy. Good night, Tim Bob.
Oh, I did love that hamster so. I took it into bed with me every night, you know.
Good night, everybody.
I think, ladies and gentlemen, I think I have to go now. I've been standing here for a very long time. I think the end of the show must have come and gone.
There you go. That's our solar system. You forgot Uranus. Good night, everybody.
Thank you for listening. You've been very nice to work.
Good night, Tim Bob.
Good night, Jim Bob.